All right, I hear buyers are just driving up to your home or driveway and they're driving right out without even stepping out of the car or just completing the tour. And you're thinking, what in the world is this about? I don't want anyone watching this video to have this happen to you where you put your house on the market, you're watching your Ring camera, and you see these buyers hesitate to tour your home. And if they actually walk in, they only last a couple minutes and they walk right out because what they saw, they just didn't love. In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 6 things that make a buyer just walk out or just drive by your home without stepping out of their car. Number 6 is going to be curb appeal. So you can't sell your home if you can't even get a buyer to want to see it. Here's what buyers are paying attention to. One of the most recent experiences I've had is oversized trees. The first thing the buyer thinks about is having to cut it down, the cost associated with the cut down of that tree. They start thinking, okay, maybe there's going to be root problems, piping issues, or whether the roof will be damaged when they go to cut down that tree. They start wondering if they need like a permit. Is there an ordinance in place preventing the cut down? Another thing is going to be poorly painted exterior or a door that's peeling. They start thinking about the cost of replacing the door, repainting the home. They'll also think if these owners aren't taking care of the exterior of the home, I can just imagine how the interior is going to look like. I'm not going to waste my time. That's their thought process. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to go inside. So here's what you want to do. Go attend a couple open houses in your neighborhood to compare other properties and their curb appeal. Then walk up to your home, take a picture of it, and ask yourself, is this something I would want to buy if I were in today's market? The presentation of your home's exterior is just so very important. Remember that your first showing is online and your serious buyers are looking at Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, and they'll decide whether they want to come into your home for an open house or a private tour based on the exposure, based on the pictures. The last thing you want is someone doing a drive-by, for example, of your home and immediately deciding, no, there's no way, I'm not coming inside. Your buyer really also doesn't want to inherit your problems. So another thing is if your home is in an undesirable neighborhood or just next to a neighbor who has completely let their property go, and it may devalue your home. And at that point, I would just say price accordingly, don't overprice. Now we're going to go to number 5, the school zone. You can't control where your home is located, but you can do certain things. I hear this a lot. A house is located near a school, the school bells are going off, there's a lot of pedestrian and car traffic, and the buyers are thinking, there's absolutely no way I'm living near school. Now, if you have a young family, it might actually be ideal because they're going to think, okay, that's great. I can just walk my kids across, the street for school. But understand this, most buyers, when they're touring a home and they see a lot of traffic and noise, it could be a deal breaker for a lot of people. Can you imagine scheduling a tour for a buyer during school pickup and they have to wait through all the parked cars? It can definitely be a detractor. So make sure that when you're showing your home, it's, it isn't during a busy time and that the school schedule, like know when summer break is, know when the busiest weekday windows are, find different and creative ways to work around these objections. We're going to go to number 4 now, your backyard. Make sure you have enough greenery back there. If your backyard isn't properly maintained and needs a lot of work, that can be also a deterrent. I suggest maintaining the grass, checking the fence. Does it need to be painted? Or do panels need to be replaced or repaired? Buyers walk in wanting to picture their family living there, right? So if the grass isn't properly maintained, hire a company to get it looking at its best. Even something as simple as creating a seating area around outside with potted greenery can help. Now we're going to look at number 3, too many flooring options. If your home has different flooring throughout, buyers won't necessarily love that. They want consistent flooring throughout. And the cost of replacing flooring these days is astronomical, from materials to labor for removing the old floors and installing the new ones. Buyers are already barely qualifying for a loan as it is. If this kind of applies to you, I would suggest pricing your home accordingly rather than pricing it based on comparable or recent sale that has new flooring throughout. All right, we're going to go to number 2. The kitchen is either too small or just outdated. Many of you have older homes that simply just weren't built with the expansive kitchens common in today's more desirable floor plans. Over the last 20 years, kitchens that open to the common area and open layout have become the trend, right? So if you have a small kitchen where people can barely sit and enjoy themselves, that could be an obstacle to sell your home. If that's the case, I recommend, working with your agent to create possible renderings, working with your stager to create maximizing space. And for the renderings, you want to show how the home can look like with a wall removed or an open layout created, so buyers can envision the possibilities, including future expansions. If you're on a tight budget and you're looking to maximize your return on investment, upgrading the kitchen is what I'd recommend focusing on. Make sure to add color and texture. Don't let the kitchen, entire kitchen be white, for example, white on white. If you can stage it, great. If not, add cookbooks, declutter, bring in some accessories to break it up. And if it's really outdated, even changing the backsplash can add some visual interest. Also, make sure your kitchen is in good working order. Appliances should work. The refrigerator should work. Walk around your kitchen, take a look, and make sure everything works and is deep cleaned. Even painting a cabinet or doing a small touch-up can really pay off when you go to sell. You don't want a buyer to skip submitting an offer because the appliances aren't working or the color and the texture feel too dull. All right, last but not least, deferred maintenance. Number 1. Let's talk about the HVAC system. The seller thinks, oh yeah, the AC is in perfect shape, but then the home inspection happens and the inspector says, well, it's at its end of its lifespan. It's not putting out the right temperature and it uses a refrigerant that no longer is available. Meanwhile, the seller insists, it's been working for me, there's no issues, everything is perfectly fine. Listen, if you're asking a premium for your home, you shouldn't have anything that's at the end of its lifespan. If this is your situation, you'll just have to price accordingly. Adjust the price to reflect it. Let's talk about repiping. Does your home have cast iron pipes? In Florida, that's very common. And some may need to be replaced. Have there been any recent plumbing issues? Another big thing that we have here is roof. Is there any evidence of leaking? What's the roof lifespan and how many years does it have left? Are there overgrown trees damaging the walls? Are just too big? Do you have hurricane impact windows? Here in Florida is a big thing. Are there any broken or non-functioning windows? These are all deferred maintenance items and buyers think, forget it, I'm out of here. You want buyers to have a wonderful experience the moment they walk through that door. Everything I talked about in this video comes down to this. These are the things that make buyers walk away. So try to figure out how to get ahead of them or at least minimize them. Before you even put your house on the market, meet with a realtor and give them permission to really give you full and honest feedback. Ask them, if a buyer comes into this home, what objections are we going to have to overcome? You want to know things ahead of time so you can minimize the problems in the foreseeable future. You don't want to go under contract with an agent and then realize, uh-oh, I hired the wrong person, the wrong agent. Also, by the way, I am for hire and I'm in South Florida. So if you're looking for a good agent, you know who to contact. All right. There's nothing more frustrating than going through all of this trouble and not getting offers or the attention your home deserves. So let's work through these objections before you even put your house on the market. Be prepared because it's really disappointing to go a long time on the market without getting any offers. All right, so in closing, I do have a favor to ask. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if I forgot anything in this video, please comment below. Also, I have a free resource kit. I'll link it here and in the description, and it covers buying and selling guide, how to buy and how to sell without stress, interviewing questions to ask your agent, a relocation guide to South Florida, an expired listing guide, and a listing preparation checklist. So go ahead and download it, and I will see you in the next video.